FDA allows to slip by into our food. The food industry needs to be reformed because these foods are slipping by. I know this because I've researched this for a couple of years, and I'm an exercise science major. I know what food needs to go into your body. And I will fight to improve what the FDA deems passable for human consumption. I'll improve people's understandings of what the definition of food is, and I'll show you the consequences if my plan is taken action and if it is not. First, I'm going to talk about what the FDA deems passable for human consumption. In my survey, accessed on November 25th, 2013, 30% of you said that you decently cared about what was in your food, and 35% of you said that you cared a lot about what was in your food. That means 65% of you care at least a little bit about what is in your food. But do you really know what's going into your food? The FDA allows around 3,000 things to be added to the food that they allow to be served. Some are traditional spices and seasonings, while others are not so traditional. Some of these commonly added to our processed foods are artificial sweeteners, high fructose corn syrup, MSG, trans fat, BHA, BHT, sodium nitrate, sulfur dioxide, and potassium bromate, to name a few. Laurentine Bosch, a producer on Food Matters, tells some of the negative effects these additives have. In her article, The Top 10 Additives to Avoid, accessed on November 25, 2013. Artificial sweeteners can cause Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. High fructose corn syrup can cause high cholesterol and diabetes, and MSG can lead to depression and weight gain because it blocks the brain's neural pathways so it doesn't know when it's full. All this is known by the FDA, but they say if it's used in a small amount, then it's okay. But so many of these companies get away with this that it's really affecting our health. This is why I come in. I will change the FDA's definition because of what food is, because I want to promote health through food, not destroy it. There are many areas that need change, but the quickest way to change all of these areas is through the people. Because without the people, the food industries have no income. To change their ways, we must first change ours. And to change our ways, we must know what's in our food so that we can avoid it. Many processed foods are made with a little bit of food and the rest is chemicals. This should not be called food, it should be called food-like substances. The McDonald's is a great example of selling food-like substances. In her article, Can You Handle the Truth About Your Beloved McRib, published on November 13, 2013, food editor Nell Casey says, the McRib sandwich boasts 70 ingredients. That's a whole lot of goings on for a sandwich advertised as a McRib pork patty, bun, barbecue sauce, pickled slivers, and sliced onions. The bun alone makes 34 ingredients. Of these ingredients, with tasty additives, ammonia sulfate, which is a salt commonly found in soil fertilizers, azodicarbonamide is a flour bleaching agent that is most commonly used in the manufacturing of foam plastics such as gym mats and the soles of your shoe. Finally, they have everyone's favorite, trans fat friendly, hydrogenated cottonseed oil and soybean oil. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like food to me. Another thing that people should be on the lookout for is genetically modified food. In her article, Genetically Modified Food Fight, accessed on November 25, 2013, law student Morgan Helm states in 1997, 17% of the U.S. soybeans were genetically modified. Today, that percentage has rocketed to 93%. She goes on to inform that 75 to 80% of today's processed foods contain genetically modified organisms. I want more people to know about these things, so my plan to get people to know is to add classes in elementary and high school so that children can learn at a young age what they should and should not be eating, and then have the same classes available for adults so that they can adjust and live longer, happier lives. There are good and bad consequences. I can tell you both for when my plan is or is not taken. If I'm elected president, I will help revise what the FDA sees fit for us and let children and adults gain access to the information on the different food additives that are in their foods. Changing the FDA standards will make companies change, and then educating people will make the companies willing to change because they'll be losing food because people aren't buying their products. People will lose weight and be healthier simply by changing their diets to foods that are more natural, and it will lower the risk of chronic diseases. In his article, The Case for Natural Food, Access on November 25, 2013, author David Katz states there's strong evidence that, as a rule, the closer to nature you eat, the fewer calories it will take for you to feel satisfied. The reason? Processed foods have low amounts of fiber and water and have a high ratio of calories to nutrients, and a mix of tastes from added sugar, salt, and different flavorings that overstimulate the appetite center in your hypothalamus. If I'm not elected, our country will stay on the track it is now and will become more obese, will have higher chronic disease rates, and will have higher needs for pharmaceutical drugs. Our bodies aren't used to man-made chemicals. We don't get the nutrients we need from the man-made chemicals, and our bodies don't know how to digest them, so it turns into fat. If we don't change our diet soon, we'll end up looking like the humans in WALL-E, too fat to move ourselves. In conclusion, the FDA needs reform. We need to be educated, and there will be consequences for which route we take. Vote for me. I will fight for your health. I'll fight for your kids' health. I'll fight for your grandkids' health, and so on. Let's go back to being able to pronounce the ingredients in our food. Let's go back to enjoying what we eat, and let's go back to eating food.